Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing, sort of, not playing. We're not playing anything. Yeah. So for today's video, I wanted to watch and react to Chosen's video about Hell Hades and the new Fateless branding, the idea of making his own game, and I didn't really plan on this. And I didn't even think of it, honestly, when Hell Hades made the video to do my own reaction on it. Um, but then when Chosen did the reaction, I was like, I'm actually really curious to what he's gonna say. Like his title. My actual thoughts on Hell Hades making a game. Potential or overhyped? Like, honestly, I don't think Chosen's gonna throw any shade. He's a very classy guy. But he's also practical. So I'm curious, is he gonna try to talk about the, I guess, the realistic side of things of just, we know Hell Hades does well, but is this too much? Is it, I don't know, does it have the potential we hope, right? And personally, I'm just gonna say, you guys know I'm a huge Hell Hades supporter, fan, now friend as well. I massively respect and adore the guy and his family. And I mean, everyone involved with Hell Hades, HH Gaming, I have so much respect for. And anything Hell Hades touches turns to gold. You know, he comes to Summoner's Glory, he brings so many people, we break the servers. He comes to Eternal Evolution, he made that game blow up. Eternal Evolution didn't make their game blow up, he made that game blow up. And as someone who's been getting very involved in Dragonair, I'm probably the poster child. I was begging them. I'm like, whatever you have to do, get Hell Hades involved, because if he's involved, it will be successful. So my TLDR of my candid thoughts is, of course, if Hell Hades is making a game, number one, I'm playing it. I will 100% support it in any way I can, and I know the people will follow. But is that enough? To be honest, when it comes to the world of gaming, Raid is very small. If you look at other games, I play Genshin Impact, I play Honkai Star Rail. Those content creators get millions of views. Not like Hell Hades, who's our top content creator, like him and Ash, right? He gets a lot, yes, but he doesn't get millions. The game isn't that big. So does the audience of Raid really bring a potential for a super successful game that he can create? Let's see what Chosen has to say. So I really wanted to see Chosen's thoughts, and I decided instead of just watching the video on my own, I would watch it with you guys. So number one, if you haven't already seen, go to Hell Hades YouTube. I'm going to obviously link that first and foremost. I'm not going to watch the whole thing and react to it because I want you guys to actually watch Hell Hades' video properly. He has all the information for his new community in the video description. I've already joined the Discord, I've already followed the Twitter, I've already subscribed to the YouTube, you know, we've already done all the things. But now, let's see what Brad has to say. Let's see what Chosen has to say about it. And obviously I'll link Chosen's video here as well. Be sure to follow Chosen, he's always putting out great content. Looks like I missed a fun little side candid video here with him hanging out with Deadwood. I gotta go watch that afterward. But yeah, obviously, also please, if you watch my video, and if you watch any reaction video, always, if you have the moment, if you have the time, go to the original poster, play their video in the background, support them as well, because you want to give love to the original content that we're actually reacting to as well. All right, let's do it. So my actual thoughts on this. Let's see what Chosen has to say.
Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the news for you today coming from Hell Hades and his channel and his team about the fact that they are going to be working on a game studio and a game that is going to be entering the same marketplace as Raid Shadow Legends. So what I've done is I've gone through his video, which I will link to down below. I promised in today's daily wrap-up video that I would go over this more in depth and do a dedicated breakdown of it, because I know some of the people involved and I kind of know the Raid industry, and I've had similar thoughts thoughts to Hell Hades. So I want to give you my thoughts on this. And I watched his video. I broke it down into an outline and some of the main notes from it. So we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, I'll just kind of go through these bullet points and give you my thoughts. So they have been asked for a long time about creating their own game, and now they are making it happen. That is true. So as creators and leaders in the community, it's always a popular talking point of like, when are we going to get some sort of like community-driven game and some competitors out there in the industry that really strive to do it the right way. And I've always been shocked about this the last few years. I'm like, with the success of Raid Shadow Legends, it blows my mind that we haven't seen like game studios popping up and producing similar games to Raid that can truly compete with it. We just see kind of like low budget cash grabs or like completely different art styles that just don't even try to compete with Raid. And it's really interesting that everyone just kind of lets Raid have a monopoly on the space. So I definitely understand where they're coming from, and I think it's a good opportunity to get in there and compete in the marketplace, because we haven't seen anything for like 5 years that truly competes with Raid. And then the team is going to be consisting mainly of Hell Hades, Sham, and then Dan. Now, I've interacted with all of these people and I've known them for a few years. I've interacted most with Hades and Sham. Sham, I believe, is the guy that was developing Incarnate, and I interviewed him on my live stream, interacted with him a lot behind the scenes, and helped promote Incarnate and all of that. Super top-notch guy. So seeing him involved, I think that's a great partner for them to bring on, and I always enjoyed interacting with him. I know that he's genuinely passionate about games, and he truly wants to produce an amazing game. So I think he's going to fit right in there with Hades and his team. They're in between Hades and Dan. And they're going to be partnering with a massive fantasy IP, although the specific name cannot yet be revealed. Okay, I think that's important. I think you're going to want a dedicated fan base that's excited to support your game. So you've got like your Marvel Strike Force and your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They're probably going to be trying to go a similar route to that. Now, can they get Marvel or Star Wars to partner with them? That's going to be pretty hefty. That would be a huge price tag, but they're probably going to get some sort of IP to be partnering with them on this journey to try and compete with Raid Shadow Legends. And because right here, the next bullet point, the game is going to be the same genre as Raid Shadow Legends with a rich world, creatures, and heroes. And then this next bullet point is super important. So the development process is going to take around 16 to 20 months. That actually surprises me almost on the low end. I would think it's going to take like 2.5 years, but that's encouraging that their goals as of right now is about 1.5 years. It looks like to probably get like a playable beta, and then it's going to have at least 300 playable heroes planned. This is the thing that all these game developers miss, in my opinion. Raid launched with like 350 heroes, and that's why it was able to really blossom and blow up. All these games come out with like 40 champions. I instantly knew that Eternal Evolution was not going to be successful long term when I saw that it launched with like
Eternal Evolution is not Raid, though. Eternal Evolution is not a Raid replacement. It started out, at least, very different. It started idle RPGs and these quick skip fast features type games are a little bit different of a category. I don't think it's fair to compare Eternal Evolution, and Eternal Evolution did not fail yet. Yeah, sure, some of us have stopped playing, but that's just because we move on to other things, especially as content creators. It's exciting to try new stuff. But I honestly still 100% say Eternal Evolution is the best idle RPG I've ever seen or played. The graphics are top-notch. They're always putting out insane good bosses and interesting stuff. So I think his dislike of Eternal Evolution is his first impression of the game when it first came out, which did have extremely limited people. But the game has grown into a ton of interesting characters, a ton of boss content, and I think now Eternal Evolution is actually more so a Raid competitor than it was at the beginning, because it genuinely has a ton of content to keep you busy, but gives you the quality of life and the skip features to where you don't need to spend your entire day with the game on your screen.
42 heroes. I was like, nope, next. It's done. It's going to be like a decent side game that's fun for a few months. But everybody that told me Eternal Evolution was going to blow up and be this massive raid killer, and I'm crazy because I just don't see it. Well, we fast forward a few months and Eternal Evolution is exactly what I said it was going to be from the start. So I'm glad to see that they understand that you need a wide array of tons of playable heroes. So it looks like so far their plans and their thought process is in alignment with something that I would like to see.
Yeah, that's it though. Like, I don't think Eternal Evolution was ever a raid killer. It never was. That's not a thing that should have been ever said. It was different. It is more of an idle RPG. It is more of a side game. So the problem is a lot of these games are more side games. Like Dragon or Silent Gods, I expected that to be a raid killer type game, to have so much to do and more involved, but different with the open world and story and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, coming down to it, it's actually more designed like some of these idle RPGs. It feels more like a side game. So I would not say Dragon or Silent Gods is a raid killer. Nobody says it's raid killers except for Stu. He puts that every game's a raid killer. But I don't necessarily think these games are raid killers. Nothing is going to kill raid. Raid is always going to, if they keep up their marketing, although I know that that's been an issue, raid is always going to be successful because it's always going to bring in new people. So nothing's going to kill raid. We're just going to steal their player base and make a lot of people quit, which Eternal Evolution did do. Eternal Evolution made a lot of people finally stop playing raid and just play that because they like the quality of life in that game much better.
Emphasizing depth, allowing different squad compositions, gear customization, all of that's to be expected. PvP gameplay will be balanced and the game will be free to play. Those two things are very important. You cannot charge to download a game in the gacha industry. You can't charge like $4.99 to download the game, or people just simply don't try it. So it's got to be free to play. That's good. The fact that PvP gameplay is balanced is going to be a double-edged sword. That's going to be great, obviously, for the majority of the player base, and people are going to love to hear that. But they do also need an incentive to spend so they can recoup their investment cost and have the game make money. So it's going to be really hard to
like
find
raid.
that balance point for sure. And it's why like raid, I mean, the highest spenders in the game, they want to spend because they want to win in PvP. They want to win in the arena. They want to finish high in platinum and all of that. So if the PvP is all balanced, that could run the risk of missing out on a lot of revenue from your highest spending players. But flip side of that is you'll get a lot more support and a lot more positive support from the overall community.
I think balanced for PvP could also mean, honestly, what raid does, it has the area for the whales, for the krakens, Platinum Arena, and Reset, but also making sure that free-to-play people can easily farm and take advantage of resources and still play the content. Like, you don't want to, maybe you don't care about being the top end of it, but you want to at least get the resources and benefit from the rewards of doing the content. So I think that can be also what is meant by a balance as well.
And it looks like they are seeking investment and have a Patreon for those interested in supporting the game's development. That's obviously very important, and I would say it's a project worth believing in. So if you've got the means to do so, I think it would be smart money spent to go ahead and support them on Patreon. The Fateless website, social media pages, and Discord server are available for community engagement and updates. I'm going to link to Hades' official video down below where you can find all of the stuff that he's kind of talking about right here in the video. And Hades has always been one of the passionate people in Raid and in the community, and always looking for bigger macro type stuff. He dove in headfirst and was passionate about it day one, started his channel, started his website, now starting a new game. So he has definitely always been one of the most passionate people in the community about really looking at the big picture and doing big things in the future. The game will also prioritize quality, visuals, and gameplay to stand out in the genre. Now, to stand out in the genre is going to be difficult with a game like Raid out there, but Raid is coming up to the point where it began development probably like 8 years ago. So I think it's a little bit more realistic now to compete with a game like Raid because you have huge resources of like AI generated artwork that makes it a lot easier to get templates out there and brainstorm and get some amazing visuals if you have the right tools in place and the people that can get the most value out of those tools. So I think within the last 6 months, it's become a lot more realistic to try and compete with Raid with a smaller team. So that's probably going to be encouraging, and something they'll be looking to take advantage of is these different innovations in the digital community that we've seen in the last 6 months. The development team is partnering with a large studio to enhance artistic and game building capabilities. So again, that's going to be important if you're starting out with a small team. I think they're going with a pretty big scope here for their first project. I mean, not developing like a cheaper version of a game. They are right out the gate going to be trying to dive in and compete with a game like Raid, which means like they kind of showed here, you're going to want to partner with a massive IP to get that quick growth and get a massive fan base that is interested in trying your game to get that initial push, and then also partnering with a studio that can help provide you with the backbone of some of the assets you're going to need to be able to compete. So all of that sounds proper, and their head is in the right space to get the things done. They're going to be required to dive in and do it properly. And then lastly here, they said the journey will take about 18 months, and the team is dedicated to delivering a high quality game. So they're probably going to be prioritizing doing it the right way, delaying things if they had to, and making sure that they actually follow through and give a high quality product with over 300 heroes with really good visuals from a strong IP and the backing of a big studio they plan on partnering with. So honestly, all of this sounds pretty good. I don't really have a concern or something negative. Like, these different talking points that Hades goes over in this video are things I would have brought up if I was in a meeting with them. So it looks like, I mean, obviously Hades is a smart guy. He's surrounded by smart people on his team. They haven't really embarked on a project that they've failed on. I mean, Hades' YouTube channel, Hades' website, everything they've kind of done has been a successful project and has been carefully crafted from start to finish. So I'm sure this will be no different. It is going to be tough. It's going to be very difficult to get it to snowball. Like I said in my daily wrap-up video this morning, it is going to be a difficult project, but I do think they've got the people and the minds and the capability to pull it off. So I think they're a little bit quick on the timeline. I don't think I would be shocked if 16 months happened. Now maybe they'll have some sort of like gameplay trailers and like quick predetermined beta to try out.
That's what I think they
12 to
mean.
16 months. But
Yeah.
if they're looking for like an 18-month release, I would say that would
No.
surprise me. I mean, it would pleasantly surprise me.
No, the way he worded it was more so like, before we have anything, you know, playable. I think he really did mean like 16 to 20 months before anyone's even going to be playing an alpha, a beta, a soft launch, or whatever. So I don't think it's very realistic. Like, I agree with Chosen that it sounds fast for something so big and so important. But like Chosen also said, you know, we are in an age where there is all this AI art and generation stuff that's pretty fascinating, honestly. It's something I've not delved into myself. And you can create so much so faster and easier than ever before than having to hire a team that takes forever to make up this just design idea. You can just create it. So it's interesting. Maybe it will speed up the process.
I'm rooting for them. I hope they get that done. But yeah, 18 months would really surprise me. I think it's probably going to end up being close. Like, by the time we actually get like a global launch, fully cracked release, probably going to be closer to like 2.5 years if I had to like try and predict. But I did also get confirmation from Mr. Hell Hades himself that he's willing to come over here on the channel and discuss this stuff with me. So I'm excited to pick his brain and sit down with him when we can get our schedules to line up and then walk through some of these different things and some of his concerns and some of the things that he is hopeful for and what the thought process was on this and when he kind of started thinking about this and how the team took place. And we're going to give Hell Hades a chance to explain all of this stuff in his own words, and I can bring up maybe some of the concerns that I have and some of the things that I like and some of the things that are going on within the project, and we can get a full scope of this because it's exciting. I always say I want more competition because I think that's better for the consumer. Like, if you live somewhere where you only have one internet service provider, they don't care if they give you good internet. What are you going to do? Have no internet or use their internet? But if you live somewhere where you have 5 different choices of internet service providers, they have to do a good job because they're fighting for your business. So the more games out there that are going to step in and actually try to realistically compete with Raid, I think is the better for all of us. It's the better for the
100%.
consumer. We'll have more things to try and more things in the industry that can help innovate and keep things moving forward for the consumer to benefit. So
it's so true because we all complain. Oh, I mean, I quit Raid, but a lot of you watching did not, even though you all complain about Raid. But are you still playing? You are, right? You're still playing. So, like, we all can complain and complain about things, and they don't listen, and they don't listen, and they don't listen. And unless we do something about it, unless literally everyone stops spending, which is impossible, unless massive people just start quitting the game and they actually notice it in their numbers, they're never going to change because they don't need to change because they're still profiting. But that's where the competition side, if you have true competition to where people do start leaving and do start talking about the other game being better and more so, like, than just these games that temporarily pull people away or that only make a few people trickle off. If there's like a massive leave of people, the game's gonna have to step it up and actually start giving people what they want, or they're gonna fail. Like, that's just, if you can't listen to the community's concerns that have been the concerns for 4 freaking years, then eventually you're just gonna lose your community completely if there's real competition. But there's no real competition. All these games that come out that I've played, I'm never one to label things as raid killers, but I will say something has the potential to genuinely take people out of raid that have been on the fence. That's how I felt about Dragonair, and that's how what did happen with Eternal Evolution. I saw it. I have comments to prove it. I have a video to prove it where I looked at people's comments. I got daily comments when I quit raid, and I was posting daily for Eternal Evolution. Every single day I had people saying, when you quit, I quit too. It does influence people's final stepping stone. And Eternal Evolution made me quit raid. Eternal Evolution made me quit raid. I prefer Eternal Evolution, so I haven't touched raid since I started playing Eternal Evolution. That did happen. I have hundreds of comments of that I'm sure I could pull out. So imagine if that happened on a much more massive scale with a true competition of a game. Now, I don't think Hell Hades is like, obviously like, screw you, Plarium, I'm going to steal all your business. I think we just want to make a game that gives us all the things we like in a game like Raid, in a game like Eternal Evolution, because those are the good examples, that, you know, is also unique to him, Hell Hades, as a brand. And I don't know, I'm really excited to see what happens. And I think if we all could design our perfect game, it's hard to find a balance. And I think that's all we're looking for, right? We're just looking for a game that can feel generous, but gives us good graphics, and still has competition, but lets the low spenders and free-to-play people have fun without feeling they need to spend to have good competition involved. Like, it's so hard to find a balance, and that's going to be the struggle that I'm sure Hell Hades and his team are going to face. It's going to be really interesting. Because we see it, we see what the community says, but when he's going to be in the driver's seat, he's going to really have to confront those hard decisions about what's good for the game, what's good for everybody, but you can't literally give everybody what they want as well. So, oh man. I really like what Chosen had to say, though. He's super right about this is a really well thought out video that Hell Hades put out, touching on very important points that we'd be instantly asking. And I'm definitely curious to see what their conversation will be in the future. So make sure you guys are subbed, of course, to Chosen. I'm sure you are already if you're watching me. Chosen and Hell Hades, there's going to be some future conversations that we'll definitely have to watch. Let's roll this out.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it's big news, and I am rooting for them. I hope this ends up being a successful project because everybody involved is someone I know and believe in. So we will also line up a time with Hell Hades to stop by the channel and be able to answer some of your questions down below. Maybe if you leave them down below, like if you have questions, if you made it this far in the video, appreciate you. But leave a question down below, and I might go through the comment section with Hell Hades, and we can maybe answer some questions that you, the viewer, have that you want me to bring up when I do a collaboration with Hell Hades. So that'll do it for me on this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I will link to Hell Hades' video down below if you want to be able to find the different socials that are involved with this project and all of that. So have a good rest of your day. I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.
All right, so yeah, guys, I'm going to obviously link Hell Hades' original video, and I'm going to link this video. If you guys have questions to pick Hell Hades' brain, let's let Chosen do that. Chosen's really good at interview type conversation stuff as well. He's very practical, and he likes to kind of look at things from both sides. He tries to be skeptical sometimes as well, but and really pry. He's really good at interview style stuff, both encouraging and trying to poke a little to be like, well, what about this? Like, he's really good at that. So I think if you guys have questions, go for that you want to talk, ask Hell Hades, because let's be honest, we're in the Discord. He's paying attention to his new Discord, but he can only do so much. So he can't answer every single question that everyone's going to have about this new project. So go give Brad's video some love, comment, and ask, find out, or comment what you want Brad to find out from Simon in the interview in the future. Why not? Go give him some love. But yeah, overall, I was happy to hear Chosen be very positive about this and have a good opinion on the way they're going about this. And yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Make sure you guys are, yeah, checking out all the Fateless stuff. I think what I'm gonna do is, which is scary and sad to say because I don't know, it's Twitch, but Hell Hades doesn't stream on Twitch anymore. So I might go unsub on Twitch, which would break my heart because it's my longest running sub. He's the reason I came to Twitch. I might go unsub on Twitch to Hell Hades. And I might go sign up for the Patreon. But alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me and having this chat. Let me know what you think about Hell Hades' project, about Brad's why do I keep calling him Brad instead of Chosen? I'm going back and forth. It's fine. Let me know what you think about Chosen's comments as well. What do you think about Chosen's opinions on these type of topics? I think he's a really good interviewer, don't you guys? I think he does a really good job. Like, he had his Chosen's Corner and stuff like that. I think he does a pretty good job. So I'm looking forward to seeing their conversation in the future. But that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.